Personnel Committee to order. There he is. Today, what we have, they sent us all an agenda. Hopefully everybody got it. Basically, I think our roll call is we sign in on the sheet, so it's the who's here, but we do have 4 of the Personnel Committee members here. Very happy to have 2 additional JPs, and looks like we got 3 elected officials. Thank you for coming. And we also have a representative from the Juvenile Department. Our business today, we're supposed to look at, as somebody pointed out, we like to have folks who have asked to increase things in their budget. We like to have them here when we do that. And we also needed a good job description for them. Plus we have Harley and Susan here because of the position of over Manila Leachville, moving that to a deputy collector's job. Chief deputy. They've given us a job description, what their requirements are for it. I don't know if you had a chance to read it or not, but give you a chance to read over that.
Is this, what's the parameters of this money for this job?
How much, you talking about the pay?
The minimum and the maximum for this job.
Kelly, do you happen to?
Well, what they're wanting, I do know that they're wanting to change the maximum to $31,558, which is what the other chief deputies make.
Okay.
But what she's making right now, I think is 24.
No, that's not what I'm asking. I'm not asking about this person that's in it. I'm asking what's the parameters of the position.
Jessup parameters. If you have any idea what the minimum and maximums are in the Jessup.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Well, let's let Susan, let's ask her.
I don't know about the Jessup program.
Well, you wrote the job description?
The minimum and maximum, all chief deputies make the same money.
I'm not talking to you, Harley.
And I know you wasn't talking to me, but I'm the one who wrote it.
Yeah, he wrote the description on it.
What?
I said, he wrote, I'm just looking at you, you're listening, what? What, I can't look at you?
No.
I am.
What would you pay somebody that with no experience and came into the job? What's the minimum and maximum? That's all I ask.
Well, the minimum I would pay them is what our starting minimum is, which I would say maybe $22,000.
Mr. Chairman, I move we table this until she brings those figures back.
Well, she's not coming in with no experience.
I'm not talking about the person that's in the job. I'm talking about the job description, not the person that's occupying it. The job description.
Well, I mean, this job
All I
description,
asked you was how much.
what the chief deputy pays is what I would.
I don't care about what the 2 deputies you got make. What does this job description start and what's the maximum?
Whatever the chief deputy makes would be that. If they just started off, because they would have to have
If you
experience
want
with
to
the
move on
job
to the next
description.
position, let me go out and look at my truck and see if maybe I've got that in my
back.
back seat. I might have Jessup, I don't know. I've cleaned out my truck so many times.
My motion stands.
What I asked the chairman, even though I'm not on the committee, is if he would move the committee on to the next job position for the moment, let me run out to my pickup. I might have that Jessup program in the back seat. Sometimes I do. I've got a lot of papers back there.
I have them too. I want to know what she is offering this particular person, not what's in the Jessup book.
Oh, I thought you wanted to know what the minimum in the Jessup
I do.
was and the maximum in the
That
Jessup.
would be nice too. I don't think this is complete. I don't think this will be. Let's move on to the next one.
I'm gonna run out the truck and see what I can find. I'll be back in just a second.
We also have do you have your juvenile job description? This one they asked to move the part-time secretary to full-time because of additional duties that have come about. They have added some new software. You want to explain that and what's going on?
Yeah, we're having to do the savory. Here's what we're having to do. I was trying to make copies. I didn't even have Kelly come in and try to make some copies of that. But we're having to do the savory. It's assessment through the state. We have to do that. And Macy, the crafts, and they call it OYA, Ohio Youth Assessment. And what that is, every time a kid comes in, the OYAs, we do that assessment, see if we're going to divert it. Then if there's violent, we do the Macy for mental health, we do the crafts for, see if they need drug and alcohol counseling, and then the savory is the biggest, about a 4-hour assessment, start to finish, and it encompasses everything, parents' records, police records, school records, for the juvenile mental health records, sit down and talk with them for about an hour and a half for the juvenile, and then we sit down with the parent. And that decided on for every violent offense that we go to court, we have to do that assessment on them. And then we have to enter it in the computer. And it kicks us back a strong area, needs areas and risk areas. And then we submit that to the master trainer through the state. And they sign off on it, and we present it to the courts for after disposition is made, or after adjudication before disposition is made, to see where we're going to plug them into. And a lot of that has to, and then we have to try, my staff right now is trying to find services within the community because the state's really pushing and trying to get, keep the juvenile in the community with services in place. So we're contacting churches, city groups, trying to come up with some services in-house. And the bad thing about the state has cut funding to some of the services that we already have here, like CYS. I believe you're quite familiar with that. Down to we do not have a drug and alcohol counselor now here in the county, so we are trying to get drug and alcohol counselors to some of the providers. So my staff is running around trying to find what services we may have, and so some of the duties that you see there, what a lot of art we are doing, a lot of them are doing petitions, we can shift that to the secretary, and that would be about more time for us to do the assessments that we have to do when they come in.
I'm going to ask you the same question. What's the salary range?
I'm going to start off at 22, then we'll work up to 24.
It's not bad for a secretary.
I didn't think so. It's something that we have to deal with.
22.
22 to 24.
So this is the whole county. Yeah, I appreciate Kelly for helping trying to get this printed. That's the only one we can print. I couldn't get the copy machine, got H&H coming. But this breaks down in some of our case law. Now, we're not supposed to, like intake officers aren't supposed to supervise cases, but we're having to. Diversion, which is diverting out of court, to make sure they get services that they get.
Is this what you asked? What you would put it?
I put that there, top it out, let them start off there and work out.
How long has she been working for you?
We don't have one right now, she can get it.
Oh, your secretary quit. So you're asking to hire one, and
We had a part-time, we just stayed with all one full-time.
it's hard to keep part-time personnel.
Yes, sir.
So this will help to take some of the workload from your people that are assessing them, trying to find them places to work, so that they can get out and be more active, do that.
Right. Yes, sir.
Find things that basically community service for these juveniles to do.
Yes, sir.
And this would be the juvenile secretary, or what would be the title of this job?
That'd be administrative secretary. What we're hoping to do, one thing in the past, we used to get them certified and the state would kick in, but those positions are not anymore. So right now, I'm trying to talk to the state if they can loosen them up, maybe we can latch on to them in the next year or two. Possibly.
Full-time administrative assistant, what you need.
Yes, sir.
But you didn't put the education requirement.
I would love to have associate, but in this county, if they have, if they have a high school diploma and they have a good work background, and we've already had some that turn in application that have a work history of, I'll say work ethic. A year here, you're there. We'd like to have somebody that's kind of have a good work ethic that's in there. If you do, well, I don't care, hire them.
So in other words, if they got a horse.
Well, we'd like to have a post that will come to work. And
I'd like to put some type of education requirements, whether it's high school, whether community college, or something. I'd like to see something on there for education.
That's something that is something we need to add to every job description, what, a minimum education, what we would prefer, but a minimum that we would accept. And that could be an associate's degree or high school education with so many years' experience as an administrative assistant. Something along that line. That's what you're looking for, Bill?
I'm looking for education,
Right.
not experience.
Well,
But unless he wants to submit or recommend so many years' experience in lieu of education.
exactly, that's,
But I think it needs to say that in here. It's
It
just
does.
throwing this
We
out
need-
without it.
we need to have that in the job description so that when you decide to go out and advertise, people know what you're looking for.
Yes.
So. Anything else does anyone else see anything else we need added into it?
The only thing I'm gonna say is this. I'm for giving him a full-time position. I think he needs it. I mean, and I know from some period experience what he's dealing with as far as the paperwork and everything. But at some point in time, this county, the population is decreasing. And we're steadily creating more jobs within the county. At some point in time, we got to stop or we got to eliminate some of the positions that's being done twice. That's my opinion. If, you know, some departments may have too many people. But I think we need to start looking at it closely. But again, I think Darryl needs this position, so.
Well, we're increasing this
I
from
don't
a
think that
part-time
has
to a
anything to
full-time.
do with the position. What we're trying to do is decide, when we hire somebody, what are we looking for? Are we looking for a Doberman or a puppy or, you know, this describes. what
I
we're
think
looking
that depends on what job you're advertising.
for. He's advertised for.
I know
something.
that, I understand that. I understand that. I don't have a problem with having a minimum requirement for this job. And I think a high school education is a minimum requirement. You're not gonna get
If he'll put
rocket
that on there,
scientists for
that's fine.
$22,000.
If he'll put it on there and he's satisfied with it, I just think education ought to be on.
Well, I think we can put this in there as we make a motion to create this position. And
We've already created them, have we not?
I believe we did, and we're getting job descriptions.
But
and
just- We
So-
wanted a description of what they're gonna be doing.
I think we can accept this, but we would like for you to add, and who keeps our job descriptions? Are they,
I have a
you do?
reminder.
Okay. We need you to add your educational requirements to this prior to turning it into Kelly for the final. Is that acceptable?
Yes.
to you?
are you sure we've already voted on creating this position?
Actually, what happened was we discussed it in our finance meeting and
It's in the budget.
most of us were there, so we went ahead and added it to the budget. But we actually voted the budget at the finance committee. The finance committee does this Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, I remember that meeting. I thought it got thrown back to us.
Well,
And I
it
thought
did, but we went ahead and said we're gonna put the money in and we wanna get the job descriptions and make sure that everything's.
You're just asking
working.
technically, did y'all create a full-time position from a part-time?
Yeah, and I'm not
We're
sure.
doing exactly what we're
funded
doing
one.
today.
Okay, okay, it's been
Yes,
funded, but we
you're
hadn't
right.
made that motion, we hadn't created this position yet. That's what I said. So this position has not been created.
No, there's still a part-time position.
Right. That's what I was making,
So,
make clear.
does someone want to make a motion?
I would make a motion that we create a full-time administrative assistant for the juvenile division.
With
To
the high school
replace-
education.
Well, that's his goal, that's gonna be his
To
call,
replace the part-time.
to replace the part-time position.
Well, if
I'll second.
we're not going to add, educational requirements, I'm not gonna vote for it.
Oh, they have to be
Well,
added.
he said that's his, Did you not just say that's his?
Do you want me to add it? Do you want us to add?
I want to, if we're gonna create the job, I want to put the educational requirements.
All right, then I say a high school diploma or GED. Minimum high school diploma or GED.
I'll second it.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
Let it slide.
I know that you're not on the committees, but either one of you have anything to say? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Okay. We have
Thank you, Darrell.
Thank you
For
very
bringing
much,
this to
sir.
us.
All right. Now, let's go back to the first one. Do y'all have a minimum and a maximum?
The minimum is 21,911, the maximum is 32,867.
21,911 to what?
32,867.
32.
867.
I know I got the 32, but I can't get the rest of it.
867.
867.
All right.
Justice Ash, can I add a little bit?
Yes.
Ashley, when she was hired over there, like the letter says, she did strictly delinquent personal tax, and she assessed. She actually hand wrote a receipt, deposited the money, mailed the receipts to us. That was a big problem. You know, there was too many places mistakes could be made. And if you look at this and look at the amount of money that Ashley collected just last year, $578,835.84. You know, that has been a big benefit to the Manila legal area over there. I think Michael's probably heard from the people that live in that area how big of a help it is. It's a big help to the county. You know, I just think that we need to promote her to chief deputy.
To what?
To chief deputy.
Then why are we going to all this trouble?
Because we have to. I was told
Oh,
we had
you
to
want to
bring
promote her to this new position?
right.
What position has she held, was she
Just
holding?
the deputy assessor, deputy collector.
Okay, so,
She's actually doing the job of two people.
okay. Harley, you got anything you'd like to add?
Can I say anything?
Is this one that you split? Is this one that you split?
Huh?
Is this one you
This one
split?
that you split?
Yes.
Now, this is an employee, the two of them on
Why do
split.
we not have them up where we can hear them, they can hear us, instead of sitting so
I
back in
don't
the corner?
Usually you got a full house.
They're more than welcome to join us. at
Usually the
table.
table's full, he said.
I can see it's full.
Other than that, I think she deserves it.
Yes.
She does a great job of it, and
She's done 2,172 assessments from Harley's office,
So,
and she's collected $578,835 for Susan's office. So that's why they're splitting it 50-50 in their salary share.
Okay, I think that we discussed this, we requested they be here and bring us a job description. And this is basically the job description of a chief deputy that you use in all your other offices, correct?
That's right, yes.
Okay. Do we have any type of motion on this, or?
I'm gonna follow Betty's lead on this. She knows more about this business than I do. She was our,
I think she should have been chief deputy all along.
Okay. Are you making that in the form of a motion?
Yes, I am. I'm sorry. I make a
Okay.
motion that we take Harley and Susan's part-time employees to make her the full-time one for a chief deputy.
I'll second it.
Okay. Any further discussion? Anybody? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Now, we were gonna review the job descriptions for the finance department, because we were looking at the splitting in that one position.
We did discuss that. I didn't know if you wanted to discuss that today, but we can. I have, the
You
job.
would just leave that alone until the first of the year.
That's up to you, Chairman. You know, things are kindly in the air of the moment. I'm not sure what the final determination is going to be. I'm not on this committee, but as we all know, we passed an ordinance at last Tuesday night's meeting that somewhat altered the structure of the office. But then the judge has filed an official veto of that ordinance, which then triggered our privilege, if we choose as a quorum court to override that veto. State statutes require, if we wanted to override a veto, that we have to do it at our next regular meeting, which would be December 17th, and which requires a 3/5 vote of the court, which would be 7 votes. You know, that meeting is taking place December 17th, and it'll be up to this court to decide, are we going to take that action or not? So until we see exactly where that goes, I don't know how much you want to delve into these particular positions. When we passed the ordinance the other night, with the judge's signature, or even without the judge's signature, the way the ordinance was written, it would have been come law after 7 days and became effective 30 days after publication. With the judge's veto, it kind of stops everything until the 17th.
Yes.
And then whether if we let the veto stand, then the judge needs to be directly involved, and I wouldn't do anything without him sitting here. If the quorum court chooses to override the veto, then the positions would move under the county treasurer, which Ms. Mead is here today. But until that, I don't know where we're at. I know what I expect, but and the final determination will be the 17th. And it'll either, the veto will be allowed to stand or it'll be overridden. And until that happens, I don't know that the quorum court can do really very much or take much action. Now, that's subject to everybody else's opinion. That's my opinion.
I'd say that.
I'd make a motion to table this until after the meeting on the 17th, after our regular quorum court meeting on December 17th.
I'll second it.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. And we're going to table this one until after the meeting on the 17th. We'll be looking at it in the new year, looking at job descriptions and see how they decide to handle the position with the payroll and AP. Okay. Does anyone else have any business to be brought before the committee? We shall stand adjourned.
Janice, you sure you ain't got nothing? I can't believe you ain't got nothing.
To recorder, deputy clerk.
Order
Because I have
What's the
one,
difference?
well, the salary for one thing. I have one in Burdette now, that's, the title is recorder, deputy clerk, or something like that. It has to do with recording. But the deputy clerk in Osceola does the same job, but she's not getting that pay. Same exact job.
May I ask how much the difference is?
I don't know, not my Let me tell you,
You better have some answers.
I want, if it's $5, she deserves that $5.
How long has she been there?
Less than a year.
Okay,
But they went by the JSEP when they set up that salary.
then what we need to do is, because we would request a job description on it,
I've turned that in already
okay?
To whom?
to Kelly.
Oh, okay.
You have those with you?
No, I'm sorry, I don't.
Brought what we had on the agenda.
Well, yeah, I actually just thought I was supposed to bring the job descriptions from my office, but, you know, I think Janice did, when we were working on her budget a while back, I think she mentioned it, it's just slipped my mind though about changing that title. I haven't thought anything about it.
Okay, was it changed in the budget?
No, no.
Janice,
Yes,
what I'm
sir.
gonna ask you to do is bring us those job descriptions
Okay,
at our next meeting.
okay.
We can look at it. I'm not gonna make any promises.
With the
And salary.
education requirements
With
and
your
salary.
education requirements and salary,
Okay,
all right?
I'll do it.
All right. Now,
I knew you had
Peggy, do
some.
you have anything?
Better have salary on the
All right,
Oh, I'll
so
put salaries on it.
then we will stand adjourned.
I don't think I
Thank you.
correctly.
Thank everyone for coming.